Class. Welcome to our lesson about Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator. Today we'll be learning about Benito Mussolini and his rise to power. At this time, you should all have your notebooks out and be ready to follow along on this PowerPoint. Benito Mussolini rose to power in the wake of World War I and was known as the father of fascism. Originally a socialist, he created the fascist movement in 1919 and became the prime minister in 1922. So let's begin our journey about learning about Mussolini. So what are some characteristics of a great leader? What are some characteristics of a terrible leader? Is it okay for leaders to have flaws? What type of flaws are or are not okay and why? I need you to pause the video now and write down your responses in the guided note sheet. Okay, time to move on. We're going to watch a video about Mussolini, a speech from one of his speeches in Italy in 1932. I know you can't understand what he's saying, but just watch him. What are his movements? How is the crowd reacting? What is he wearing? Does Mussolini remind you of anyone else in history? Okay, that's enough of watching him. Now I need you to pause the video again and write in the correct spot in the guided note sheet, what type of leader do you think Mussolini was based on the video? I want you to look at the crowd reaction, his tone and posture, his style of speaking. What was Mussolini wearing during the speech? How did the crowd react while he was speaking? How was his speech? Did he use hand gestures? Did the crowd seem to like it? Okay, moving on. Let's talk about Benito Mussolini's early life. So his mother was a teacher and his father was very involved in politics, which he pushed on his son. Mussolini was a bit of a bully when he was younger. He got expelled at age 11 from a school for stabbing a student, and then he jumped from school to school and finally got his teaching certificate. He taught elementary school for a little while and then became an editor for a socialist newspaper. He was eventually kicked out of the Socialist Party, fought in World War I, where his leg was injured. This injury, later on, he would talk about all the time when he formed the Fascist Party, to prove to Italian citizens how loyal he was to his country. He then formed the Fascist Party in 1919. There's a picture of Mussolini as a young man, probably around age 19. He had been arrested for rioting. Mussolini launched a fascist state. Italian fascism had no clear defined economic plan. Mussolini claimed fascism was going to restore prosperity and strength to Italy. It had strong traditions as well as religious traditions. It had a strong central government, and he wanted to expand the country, which you would later find out he tried to expand many times, including to Ethiopia. Here's a picture of Benito Mussolini's black shirts he used as a violent enforcer while he was rising to power. Some doctrines of Italian fascism include imperialism, militarism, statism, nationalism, and corporationalism. The rise of Mussolini. After World War I, the economy in Italy was bad. Upper and middle class feared communism.